Start record. All right, hello. This is now integration testing with NixOS virtual machines. Is this thing on? Yeah. Yeah, it's working. All right. So integration testing with NixOS virtual machines. What will you learn? So I did a bit of preparation for this. There is an Nix hour. So Nix hour number 20. Nix hour number 20 that really goes about NixOS tests. And it's a really interesting one. And I made kind of a couple of notes, which are, I will actually link them in the video description. So then the NixOS number 20. And the base of it is that it runs NixOS machines in a QEMU VM, which can, so I'll just read a bit. These are just some notes. Then I'll go back to the NixDev, and we'll just go through the NixDev tutorial of creating the machines. This is kind of really cool, like the power of it. It's yeah, in the last video when I did the NixOS virtual machines, I thought it's like really cool that you can boot a VM in a shell, like that I don't have to open like a new window. But this is even, I mean, now it kind of looks, you know, silly, but with these integration tests, you can like basically build a whole lab of computers, of virtual machines, and you can do all kinds of tests with your application or like with some functionality, and you can do all that from your own NixOS. So it's kind of I guess I didn't really understand the magnitude of it. So this is the base of it, is that it runs NixOS machine in a QEMU VM, which can run inside Nix builds. So using a Nix build, so you're going to be sorry, you use the Nix build then to build the machines. Using a Nix build, you can essentially run an entire system without influencing your local NixOS system, or you can also run this in a CI if certain features are supported. That's also cool. If certain features are supported. Yeah, Infinisil touched upon if it would be able to run the NixOS tests on runner images, or actually GitHub actions. But and then there was this nice post, where is it? I don't know. So I think still GitHub actions do not support KVM. So if you would support KVM, I guess you could do virtualization tests, right, like on GitHub. And I'm like really noob with this, so someone who really does know something about this will basically understand it, and I'm not explaining it well. But still, so the best way to kind of look at different things you can do, using NixOS tests, almost as always, just look at Nix packages. There is a ton of examples there, so that will be a NixOS test directory. So do I have the console opened? Yeah, this is the Haskell. All right. So cd source. Let's go to Nix packages. Let's go to, I guess, NixOS. NixOS and cd tests. All right. Am I recording? Sometimes I'm not sure if I'm. Yeah, I'm recording. So we have a bunch of tests here. Now you're still not sure what are tests, I guess. Someone who is not sure, yeah. Like MuseScore test. MuseScore, that's the MuseScore. Wow. Helix MuseScore. Make tests. Python. Yeah. So the testing framework basically is written in Python. It was written in Perl, and it was changed to Python in 2019. Let make sure we don't have go through the startup tutorial. And so you kind of make some kind of tests that do things like the machines can ping each other, and there are all kinds of even more complicated like network tests that you can define, and you can upload them to Nix packages directory, and other people can use the tests. Like I saw some uh, BitTorrent tests where you have like a couple of nodes and they do a simple kind of a test and you see if it works. The MuseScore is actually a program to write notes, like musical notes. Services, so you see nodes machine, yes. So here, I don't know what this means, but I guess it's empty. But you can declare several nodes or like machines that communicate. And then you have the test script. This is all Python. And the test, and you see this is all Python code. So you have like here start all, machine wait. So like all these machines can do all kinds of commands. They can output stuff. You can even make screenshots. You can make screenshots of the machines. You can kind of control a whole fleet of virtual machines with these tests, which is kind of like really cool. Machines succeed. This is kind of a test that I guess the program works. I'm not sure. I was not actually familiar with integration tests beforehand. I would explore stuff what I wanted to explore. But I'm not familiar with this on Ubuntu or Arch Linux when I don't remember anything. I mean, maybe the developers do these tests, but this kind of functionality is like kind of given to you as a user. Like, so you can do all these tests, you can define your own. So look at this machine screenshot. Yeah, this is Python, so it's not really, purely functional. Sorry, I've been doing I've been doing some Haskell, and yeah, so here like you have an object which is the machine, and then you have a command which is a screenshot. Or like again, you have the object which is the machine, and then you have the message which is send key. This is kind of very object or oriented programming. You can do all this stuff. This is fun, right? I mean, it's cool. You can do all kinds of things. So yeah, he says so I'm just going now through what he did in the video a bit. So then he checked out some of the tests and he picked one. There is a lot of tests for packages, for modules, for various components of NixOS. So I guess if you created a hardware module or any kind of a module, I guess like even Home Manager, you could make a test for it, and then you'll see if it works or if it fails. Then you can fix it like that. I guess that's great. Let's try to pick a simple one. Pick Xandicos. I have no idea what's Xandicos. But anyway, he was playing with it. All tests are declared in this way. Import make test Python next. Original was in Perl, yeah. So the main thing here is nodes. Yes, nodes allow you to declare a list like a number of Nix. So I'm basically now reading a couple of quotes. So these are not my notes. These are from Sylvan. So these are just a couple of quotes what he said. So the main thing here is nodes. Nodes allow you to declare a list like a number of NixOS machines to be run in the test. And each of the attributes here declares one NixOS machine, while the value here is the configuration of that machine. So that's just like configuration.nix on your local NixOS machine. So like the value is the configuration.nix, and the nodes itself is like variable. So and the input is basically your configuration, or any kind of, you can declare a different kind of configuration.nix than your own, right? The second part of it, like we did with the virtual machines, there was like a bare bones configuration.nix, and we booted the machine. The second part of it all is the test script. So there was the test script we just saw with all kinds of commands that you can do. And so this instructs the driver how to actually execute the tests and what to do with these machines and how to verify that the test succeeds. So one of the first things that you see is start all. This starts all the machines, pretty much starts the VM. We have some convenience things like subtest for testing in general, but all of these machines are available as variables in the Python script here. So all of these machines have certain commands or options that you can run. Check Nix manual for more options like taking screenshots of the machine. Interesting issue. Nix build some test.nix check outputs a lot of text. Yeah, if you write this check, Nix build outputs a lot of text. Oh yeah, this was kind of interesting that you can work on. You see, like there are all these things that they are like fruits, not fruits, but basically things that you could solve. You know, if you wanted to, if you are looking to contribute to something. And this is kind of cool. And you know, like sometimes when you install something or when you download, and there's this whole stream of text going down, and then you have to scroll back and stuff, and that's pretty dirty, and it would be nice if, I mean, that's already me thinking, but like, when you rebuild or when there is some kind of operation that outputs a lot of text, and this text is like here, right? Look at this. User space, port drivers, system D, a listening, watch, stopping host, stopped this, blah, blah, stopping this, stopping name, service, NCD, service deactivate successfully, stop name. So it would be nice if you have like different windows, so that not that your screen goes up and down, so you have like different windows and you look at all the stuff, they flash, and like, this could be one line, or it could be like one line that changes, right? And this could be another like small kind of a window thing. And so that way, that like, it would be nice to have everything in one screen, and then you can see more context. You don't see much context like this. He was giving explanation or like this line that repeats also, like this stuff. Look, this again, starting this, blah, blah, stopping this, blah, blah, adding this, blah, blah. At least, it'd be nice if you have all these chunks separated a bit to give more context to what you're seeing. Yeah, he says now we can see how the machine actually starts. So honestly, there is an issue on how it just prints way too many things, and it's hard to see how the test actually works. And all of these commands here are the important thing, but you get littered with all of these startup logs. And so this hopefully will be fixed sometime in the future. Yeah. One of the most useful things about this is that you can do it interactively as well. And this should be also documented in here, driver interactive, developing and debugging tests. And so is the driver interactive attribute that you can use to run in interactively. Nix build, Xandico's Nix driver interactive. Yeah, I guess you can build stuff and then interact with it. Oh, but yeah, that's kind of... Then it was a question. This is running those lightweight VMs, which don't have their own disk images or anything. They just use the host's Nix store. Yes, it doesn't have to copy like the entire dependencies into like separate disk image. And you can, however, disable that if that's needed. There is an option for this. Yeah, so it's using the derivations from your local Nix store, right? But I guess you could, if you define some, I guess, yeah, it says like you could define and maybe like a different Nix packages revision, and then you have to rebuild, you have like a test. Yeah, I guess you could have a test from a, let's say, NixOS 17 point something. so that it works on that, even though you are on a NixOS, I don't know, 24. All of these machines are in the same network and have direct connection. Like you can easily access them between each other. They are all in this cat Etsy hosts. So they are like, yeah, ping. You can ping them. Like you can build all these machines and then ping them between. Sylvan hits Control C and it quits the VMs entirely. I think that's a bug. Not sure how to yeah, he hit Control C and the all VMs just quit. And and it doesn't restart again. Not sure how to resolve that. So that's kind of like a bug or something. Not sure if that's the correct term, bug. Yeah, my vibe was like it's a bit, you know, funky. It's not funky. It's not funky. It works, but that's just me doing too much, you know, thinking too much, you know, about Haskell, because this is in Python. And it's like with Python, you have to work like, you know, these objects and there are these commands and these operational semantics. I myself am, you know, I'm just trying to be sincere, you know, here. Many examples, but let's try to write a simple test ourselves to see how to make it work in your own project, not inside Nix packages. So he creates, all right, maybe let's come back to this and let's start with the test. Let's quit this. Let's go to dev, file set. Well, a NixOS VM integration. Let's do tests, cd tests. All right. All right, integration testing. What will you learn? This tutorial introduces, yeah, also one more thing, sorry. So besides the Sylvan's really good NixOS, there are a couple of blog posts that really also go into more detail, unveiling the power of the NixOS integration test driver from Nix Academy. They have like 2 blog posts that are really go into a little bit of detail about the tests. And then saved by NixOS integration test. Surprisingly, there are a couple of new blog posts also. All of these people really use Nix a lot. Wait, integration testing with NixOS in GitHub Actions. Oh, this does work. Yeah, wait a second. This test is, I think, the NixOS 20. Yeah, that's from last year or something like that. From where is it? March 9, 2023. So yeah, Sylvan pointed out, like Graham C wrote on GitHub, like, will GitHub Actions support KVM? And running NixOS, wow, so this stuff works now. Look at this, integration testing with NixOS in GitHub Actions. While in my day-to-day work for Canonical. Oh, he works for Canonical. So I guess you could run these tests on GitHub. This is interesting. I still don't understand it well, but it's kind of, you can see it. Like you can see how it shines, but even if it's not clear. So GitHub Actions defaults to Ubuntu as the operating system for its runners. Yeah, I don't know much about GitHub Actions and runners, but this kind of makes sense. So this is kind of cool because these actions have an operating system, an entirely sensible choice, but not one that was going to help me test packages could work together on NixOS. I could have hosted my own GitHub action runners to solve the problem, but I didn't want to maintain such a deployment. Oh, for a while I relied on just testing each of the crafts locally. So he would test locally before and then push on GitHub. So this would mean like you could create locally push and then do tests on GitHub, like the GitHub would do tests for you. That would be nice. And the CI simply install the Nix package manager on the runners from Nix, from determinate systems, and ensure that the build could succeed. But this left a lot to be desired. So when he broke a package, he couldn't test it. So KVM for GitHub Actions. Sometime later, came across this post on the GitHub blog stating the following. Starting on February 23rd, we'll be able to make use of hardware acceleration. February 23rd. But wait a second, this March 9th. Maybe they didn't know. I thought KVM is more like software acceleration. What follows is an example of a relatively simple addition to GitHub workflow to enable KVM on GitHub Action runners. So you see this enable KVM group perms run echo kernel KVM group option match sudo t udev. Wow. Given the ability to relatively easily create NixOS VMs from a machine configuration, that's what we're going to do. This should enable me to run a NixOS VM inside my GitHub Actions runners and use that VM to run end-to-end tests of my craft packages. So you wouldn't have to, that's kind of mind-blowing a bit. After some quick tests, I confirmed that the above snippet worked just fine on the freely available runners that are assigned to public projects. Our runners are free. After tooting excitedly about this, I was also picked up by the folks at Determinate Systems who promptly added support for this in their Nix install GitHub action, enabling the feature by default. Now I understand at least. I did not understand it first when I read it. So Determinate Systems, they have some kind of GitHub action and they added the support for NixOS tests. I mean, they added the support. The support is there, but I guess they provided some kind of functionality that you can just use that. Yeah. So given a NixOS machine configuration, it's trivial to build a virtual machine. Right, we did that. That's not... This has the nice property that one can actually boot a VM equivalent of any previously defined machines. You could example boot a VM equivalent of my laptop. All right. I needed a relatively simple NixOS VM that had LXD enabled. Right. Blah, blah. But anybody can build and launch this VM trivially. Nix run GitHub like tests. Yeah, this is when we do it locally. Oh, so now he's writing the GitHub workflow. Graph test. So in each invocation, the script creates temporary directory, clones some representative build files for the selected craft tool, and launches the craft. So yeah, this is the jobs test run on Ubuntu latest. Ubuntu latest. Install Nix, determinate sisters. Determinate sisters. Nix installer action. Build and run the test VM. Run Nix run test VM. Demonize. Display none. Oh, so I guess you can run tests in VM only by having the Nix package manager. Oh, I thought you have to have NixOS to run a Nix test, to test the VM. You can have just the Nix package manager. So the Nix package manager was installed on the Ubuntu that runs the runners. And then this is the craft test of the matrix package. Separate job is run for each of the crafts and the real artifact is built in each, giving reasonable confidence that my consumers of my flake will be successful when building snaps. So you could basically do this test and run like, and yeah. Wow. John Sager. Packaging scrutiny. Building a blog with Go, Nix, and Hugo. This is interesting. All right. Let's go back to our test. this and this. So this tutorial introduces Nix packages functionality for testing NixOS configurations. It also shows how to set up distributed test scenarios that involve multiple machines. So also, it's not that I don't find this so much fun as when I do the Nix language or those or exploring the Nix packages lib, or this is very guess this will be, useful. You can use these tutorials are great like if you already need some kind of a test. This is not clear what I'm saying. Like this, I think this is kind of a general bare bones like tutorial, and because I myself have never done such tests, but if you have done it, I think it's a good tutorial. You can like change it and tweak it and test stuff what you want, I guess. I'll just go and run through it, Introduction. Nix Packages provides a test environment. What's linked here? Test environment. Writing tests. Okay. When you add some feature to NixOS, you should write a test for it. Add some feature. So like even if you add a module or like a feature, you write a test for it. NixOS tests are kept in the directory NixOS tests and are executed using Nix by a testing framework that automatically starts one or more virtual machines in NixOS systems required. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to have types in Nix and like to proof check what you add, but you don't have that. And you have tests. Yeah, I don't like tests. I don't like tests. Sorry. NixOS tests. Writing tests, but this is not that the tests are bad, right? It's just me being too pedantic with functional programming. Writing tests. Yeah, it's also blame Connell. He was writing something about tests. Will I find it? No, okay, I will not skip the subject. All right. Introduction. To automate integration testing for distributed systems, it allows defining tests based on a set of declarative NixOS configurations and using a Python shell to interact with them through QEMU as the backend. Yeah, I was never sure what's a QEMU. It's not like VirtualBox, a generic and open source machine emulator and virtualizer. So I guess it's something like VirtualBox, but maybe more bare bones. Run KVM and Xen virtual machines with near native performance. Run operating systems for any machine or any supported architecture. Latest release. All right. Download support doc. Blog. The KVM conference. Oh wow, there is a KVM conference. Wow, there's a whole scene of people doing this. Cool. Those tests are widely used to ensure that NixOS works as intended. So in general, they are called NixOS tests. They can be written and launched outside of NixOS on any Linux machine. Okay, so you can do it like on Ubuntu. I guess could you do it? Yeah, I was wondering this. You could basically have Nix installed on WSL on Windows, and you could launch a VM, a fleet of VMs running NixOS. How would you do that? Integration tests are reproducible due to the design properties of Nix, making them a valuable part of a continuous integration pipeline. Yeah, they are reproducible, but it's Python. That's my problem with Python. There's always, you're going to, but wherever you go, you are eventually going to run into a Python, right? I heard that. The testers, yes, the testers run NixOS test function. So this is like, you see, this is the object, and this is the message. The object and the message. NixOS VM tests are defined using the testers run NixOS test function. The pattern for NixOS VM tests looks like this. The pattern for NixOS VM test looks like this. Let Nix packages fetch tarball 2311 packages. Okay. In packages testers run NixOS test name nodes machine config packages machine 2 and some commands. And then, so these are the no, I won't type this now. I was typing a lot before, but this is too much typing. And it's just, I don't want to waste time. I'll just copy, but let's see where this runs us, where this takes us. So this is this is the function, and these are the nodes. Test name, like the nodes. You can have machine 1, machine 2, and they all can have, you know, separate configurations. And test script, these are the nodes, right, that you declared here, and even more options. And then the test script, you write like basically the Python commands, and you can import also other types, you can, yeah, that was mentioned in the next hour. You can like import a Python package, so you are like basically free to do all kinds of things in these tests. So you're kind of not limited, and you can define your own tests, you know. The function testers run NixOS test takes a module to specify the test options. Because this module only sets configuration values, one can use the abbreviated module notation. The following configuration values must be set. Name defines the name of the test. Nodes contains a set of named configurations. Because a test script can involve more than one virtual machine, each virtual machine is created from a NixOS configuration. Each virtual machine created from a NixOS configuration. Test script defines the Python test script either as a literal string or as a function that takes a node's attribute. So this one, a node's attribute, this one. So the test script takes a node's attribute. This Python test script can access the virtual machines via the names used for the nodes. It has super user rights in the virtual machine. In the Python script, each virtual machine is accessible via the machine object. NixOS provides various methods to run tests on these configurations. So these are the methods. I think this will, yeah, these are like Python commands. You see console interact. I don't know Python, but I know like there is some kind of a command and then this empty line, the empty parentheses. I guess you could put all options to this function. Copy from host or shell. Yeah, so this is very operational. That's what I'm kind of, but I'm just talking about my personal preferences. This is all very operational. And they even bumped into several kinds of operational kind of, you know, not bugs, but like some mistakes. And then they try this, then they try that. And the test framework automatically starts the virtual machines and runs the Python script. Yeah, the test framework starts the virtual machine and runs the Python script. Minimal example. Is a minimal test on the default configuration. We will check if the user root and Alice can run Firefox. We will build the example up from scratch. All right, use a pinned version of Nix packages. A pinned version. It's linking here the Nix dev. We did this pinning. Possible URL flag. Specifying remote Nix expressions. Use a pinned version of Nix packages. Oh, that's with fetch tarball. We're going to pin it to this 23.11 and explicitly set configuration options and overlays. This. Oh, that's why you have to explicitly set the config and overlays when importing to empty. This is what we do in our tutorials to ensure that the examples will behave exactly as expected. Oh, this is what we did in the Nix language tutorial, I guess in best practice. So yeah, yeah, this is clearer now. This is not, was not clear. I guess you have to do this. It's like a bug or something. So like you pin your version, but that's not enough. You have to write import config and overlays to an empty value here. And then it just imports it, I guess, purely. Explicitly set configuration options and overlays to avoid them being inadvertently overridden by global configuration. Okay, that's like a... So let's build it, all right? Tests, and we do, what are we gonna call it? Our test, minimal test. Let label, okay. First test, I don't know, first test Nix. So let Nix packages. Yeah, I'll just copy this. So let Nix packages, and we're gonna fetch this. Packages import Nix packages, config empty, overlays empty in. So that's a let binding statement in what? In packages, testers, they run NixOS test. So now this function, and we have here comment. So I guess what would happen if we build this? Nix build. What would happen if we Nix build this? See. What's going on? Hello. Okay, let's read. Label the test with a descriptive name. Name minimal test. Because this example only uses one virtual machine, the node we specify is simply called machine. This name is arbitrary and can be chosen freely. As configuration, you use the relevant parts of the default configuration that we used in previous tutorial. System state version machine, all right. And this is the test script. Machine wait for unit. So okay, these are the commands. Default target, machine succeed, Sue LSC which Firefox. The error option name is used but not defined. Oh yeah, we don't have a name. So you see this, the machine succeed, Sue Alice, see which Firefox. Like, wait a second. Who am I? Stable joy. All right. So what if I write like Sue stable joy see which Firefox? No, I don't have to put like, oh. All right, Sue stable joy see which Firefox. Would it be the same if I just write like Firefox? Yes. But I'm already logged in. Maybe that's why. And root? What would be if I just wrote root? It will ask for password. No Firefox. There's no Firefox in root, but there is for StableJoy. All right. I see. Yeah, I have it in. What did I define? Yeah, I defined. I thought I have it defined. The root has no Firefox. What about Helix? Which Helix? Let's try this. Helix not found. Is it HX? Oh, it's under HX. Let's try with the root. No HX found. Bash. There is bash. All right. So machine succeed is this, and machine fail is this. Oh, you have to define like what does the machine succeed means. The machine succeed operation. Okay, it's a function, but still that the succeed would, what does it mean? It means that it outputs that Alice has Firefox and root doesn't. Nodes, machine, users, Alice. Normal user, true, has Firefox. The Python script refers to machine, which is the name chosen for the virtual machine configuration used in the node's attribute set. The script waits until systemd reaches default target. It uses the su command to switch between users and the which command check if the user has access to Firefox. It expects that the command which Firefox to succeed for user Alice and to fail for root. The script will be value of the test script attribute. The complete minimal test Nix file now looks like the following. All right. So this is the our, I guess we can delete this now. Yeah, I won't type all this. But this is, wait. Okay, this is all clear, what we have before. So we needed a name. And then the nodes, you define the nodes. There is only one machine, but you can have more machines. I guess, and you have to copy like this user or that. I guess you could make a node machine and this user and then node machine and that user, and that machine pings another one, or maybe like this user sends a file. That would be a nice, interesting test. It will take too long for me to now do it. But maybe like this one sends a file, something like that. System state version test script, and the test script is here. Machine wait for unit default target, machine succeed. You can find all these options in the NixOS manual. And running tests. Right, let's copy this. Running tests. So to set up all machines and run the test script, so you have nix build minimal test nix. All right. So let's change the name fst to minimal. What is the name? Minimal test.nix and nix build minimal test. So let's see what happens. We should build a machine. You should not just build, you should really like log into it. I think it will log into it and make the test and output. I think the command will be outputted. This one. It will output the command itself. Look, it's downloading, building. Building, is it using from my, because I'm currently, no, I'm on 24.5. I'm on unstable. Created 6,000 Symlinks. All right. How are we with time? 45 minutes. All right. That's not too bad. How long the tutorial running tests? And that's it. Yeah, this is a little test, but I think it's clear from here. And if you really want to, like, the Nix hour is really good, but he basically does this and he tries some options with Xandicos proxy, like he pings it, and you have a nice here. Look at this. You have a nice with the test user host running tests, taking a screenshot interactively. Needs to be an absolute path. Taking a screenshot non-interactively. Can a custom system features be declared? That was a nice thing, and he had basically made his own test. I think that's about it. Custom system features. Changing a static etc file hackily. That was, yeah, that was about the NixConf file. Like he moved it to another location, then like copied it back. Yeah. So let's see what's happening. All right. Must succeed, Alice, which must fail, Sue, which successful, Sue for root by root. Clean up. Must succeed. Okay. Machine. Look at this. This is a lot of machine. NixOS stage 1. Okay, maybe I should have watched it. Setup. This is basically all booting. Okay, look at here. Start all VLAN. Run the VM test script. Machine. Creating journal. Machine. NixOS stage 1. So it's booting. Stage 2. Config file to device based on potentially unpredictable interface name. Network interface. So yeah, they're like you can do all kinds of network tests with them. This is kind of cool. Must succeed. Sue LSC which Firefox. You see, but I'm kind of, I don't know even, this was supposed to succeed, but where does it say? Finished in 0.62 seconds. Where's the output? Successful Sue for root by root. Yeah, he, like, maybe we could do, yeah, I don't, it's not clear to me. Yeah, I'll have to do some tests more and then power button. Close, clean up, kill machine. So you kill the machine. I guess with driver interactive, you can be still inside of the machine and like do stuff. And this is the test. Like, and then you like, if you make a test like this and you make a package or like you upload the test to Nix packages, that's what you can contribute to. Okay, running test to set up all machines and run the test script. We did this. And that's all what it says. When developing tests or when something breaks, it's useful to interactively tinker with the test or access a terminal for a machine to start an interactive Python session with the testing framework. That's the test driver, right? Nix build a driver interactive minimal test nix / bin NixOS test driver. What's going to happen now if we do this? Oh. We have a parser, then NixOS test driver. What? Oh, I'm supposed to have a. I'm supposed to have the shell, the $sign, because there are $2 here. Look at it. Yeah. Here you can run any of the testing operations. Execute the test script attribute for minimal testings with the test script function. Oh, now we can. Now it's going to build it, and then we can play with the virtual machine while it's running. And then I guess you could boot up several machines and you can test them too. You can run any of the testing operations. Execute the test script attribute for minimal testings with the test script function. It's building test driver run mpy. Wait, is it dead? Is it done? Run mpy? Wait. Oh. It's like now I'm in a Python interpreter. Test script function. So what is it? Test. Oh, no. No issues found. No, oh, it's not. 8 files will be left unchanged. If a, no, I think I have to wait for this prompt. If a virtual machine is not yet started, the test environment takes care of it on the first call of a method on a machine object. But you can also manually trigger the start of the virtual machine with machine start. Oh, that's, yeah. This was the, yeah, I was confused first because in Finicel, he uses Vim. So I was so like, Emacs, why is Emacs here? I used to use Emacs. Yeah, it was a nice time sync. C Python. Okay, so this is like interactive, right? So this is like when you run a Python interpreter, but just this Python interpreter has your VMs as an environment, which is kind of cool. And now you can do, I don't know the commands. If you go to NixOS manual, and you can check like block, look at this. Crash, dump, execute. Execute a shell command. Execute status. Can I do this? Execute status. Trace back in module name execute is not defined. No, I cannot do that. Execute command, check output, timeout. Execute timeout. Fail, forward post, get screen text. Return a textual representation of what is currently visible on the machine screen using optical character recognition. Get screen text? It's not defined. That was not defined. Reboot, you could like reboot it. Screenshot. Can we do a screenshot? It's not defined. We didn't define it. Yeah. You have to define it, I guess, in the configuration. The screenshot will be available in the duration output. Send chars. Send console. Send key. Shut down. Can I do like, who am I? Wait a second. Who am I? Who am I? No. Shut down, start, succeed. Execute a shell command raising exception if the exit status is not 0. Unblock. Machine start. Yeah, these I'm not familiar with these tests. Probably someone who is. This will make sense. So I'll not lose much time here. Machine start. Start all. Machine start. But you can also manually trigger test script. You can enter an interactive shell on the virtual machine using machine shell interact. Okay, I can do machine shell. Okay, look, interact. I have a waiting for the VM to finish booting. Starting VM. Okay. Wow. This is nice. We are in the matrix. So now it's booting again. So what did it boot before? And now I'm going to log in. Did I said, that's like what Infinisil did in the Nix hour. He said that initial password in the configuration.nix. Yeah, there was. See, I wanted to really run this tutorial as it is and then like compare it back and forth like this with the stuff what he did in the Nix hour. So like I'm gonna boot it, but will I be able to log in? Because we didn't define, you see, machine login. So what? Alice. Oh, there was a problem. You see, like I use a different kind of keyboard layout. I use a different kind of keyboard layout, and Infinisil defined in configuration.nix, he said a console layout. He uses Dvorak and he defined it, and then he worked here. But then something happened, like when he changed or something, when it somehow then it stopped working. He was just like he went somewhere else and then it stopped working. There was a bug, and then yeah, I can't really describe it that well, but there was basically wait, Alice. And the password, I don't have a password. We didn't set the initial password. Now I cannot log in. Yeah. But that's what you could do. Like you just pass in the configuration file what we did. The bare bones one. You would have to define basically a user. And don't forget to set initial password to something like a test. Because now I cannot log in. Yeah, I cannot log in. Yeah, I'll just shut down, right? Power down. Unnamed yeah, I cannot do this. Unnamed ABS. What's this ABS? What is this? I can do math. ABS. Absolute number of -2 is 2. Oh yes, ABS. Oh, I can do functions. Double. Oh, this is basically the Python interpreter. I don't know Python. I guess you can do Python. Maybe you can do tests like this, and you can, you can kind of do Python development maybe. Yeah, this is cool. Anyway. And run Nix. Yeah, you can actually import Python packages. Test with multiple virtual machines. Tests can involve multiple virtual machines, for example, to test client-server communication. The following example setup includes a virtual machine named server running Nginx with default configuration, a virtual machine named client that has curl available to make an HTTP request, a test script orchestrating testing logic between client and server. The complete client server test.nix file content looks like the following. So right, so this is like this is a, yeah, again, testers run NixOS test, name, nodes. You have a node, allow TCP port 80, and you enable services, Nginx, server, nodes, client. So this is the first run and the client. The client has curl with packages and the test script default target, client succeed, curl HTTP server grep all welcome to Nginx. All right, the test script performs the following steps: start the server and wait for it to be ready. Start the client and wait for it to be ready. Run curl on the client and use grep to check the expected return string. The test passes or fails based on the return value. Run the test. Additional information regarding NixOS tests. Running integration tests on CI requires hardware acceleration, which many CIs do not support. That's the GitHub. To run integration tests in GitHub Actions, see how to disable hardware acceleration. Yeah, this is not clear. How do I run NixOS? NixOS comes with a large set of tests that can serve as educational examples. A good inspiration is matrix bridging with an the matrix bridging, yeah. With an IRC app service. Oh, this is a nice test. How to bridge. Oh. Oh, wow. Yeah. So I have matrix, but I saw like the Twix, the guys who do Nix on Rust, Rust on Nix, they don't use matrix. I mean, they don't use they use IRC. So their room is bridged over to matrix. I guess to make this is how you test it. Home server. I guess when you if you're doing it at home. Oh wow. Yeah, I remember someone search, he told me he has a matrix home server. Minewelt. This is Hexa. Oh, Hexa wrote this. App service. I saw this guy. I mean, Martin Weinelt. Yeah, I saw him a lot. He was one of the release managers. Martin Weinelt, NixOS committer, security and infra team member. Also known as Hexa on IRC Matrix. So he wrote this NixOS test. That's about it. Yeah, next steps, module system deep dive. So this tutorial didn't go so much in depth. How long was it? 1 hour. So this didn't go so much in depth, but I guess you would have to, I guess it makes sense if you have some kind of a test or some kind of functionality, you could like use all this and read about this and look at the examples. I myself still, I'm not sure what I would do with this, but I guess I have a better understanding now of what NixOS tests are. I basically, yeah, and it's pretty cool what you could do with this. I think, yeah. What's next? Building a bootable ISO image. Oh. Oh, this is like building a bootable image from, okay, Raspberry Pi. All right, thanks. And yeah, I hope this brought some kind of clarification. To me, it did. And I'll post that I'll post the file actually in the description with the blog. Where is it? Yeah, I'll post some of these. I'll post what I wrote. Yeah, this stuff. I'll post this so you can at least check this and check the links. All right. Bye-bye.